this just keeps going on, Jarrett. So you let me know when you want me to start. Oh, you're muted.
All right, so I will just go ahead and start with some introductions. We started recording, and then as more people join the waiting room, I will let them in. So first, everybody, thank you so much for joining the ASTA Greater Seattle virtual for the month with Krista Holmberg from Rocky Mountaineer, our fearless BDM. We're excited to hear about everything that Rocky Mountaineer has to offer our clients. And I will just kind of turn it over to her. Just know that if you have any questions that come up, please put them in the chat and then we will cover them at the end. So take it away, Krista.
Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I'm Krista Holmberg. I am the BDM for the Pacific Northwest, so I'm your BDM. I've got my contact information at the end of the presentation, so no worries. So please write down your questions. We can answer them all, but I'm just going to kind of go over kind of an overview of everything. So back in March, Rocky Mountaineers decided to kind of rebrand. So the Armstrong Collective, Peter Armstrong is the co-founder who founded Rocky Mountaineer 35 years ago, and they've decided to create the Armstrong Collective umbrella. Now they've decided to split apart our Canadian Rockies routes, which is Rocky Mountaineer, and then Canyon Spirit, which is our US route. Now, the reason why they did this is because in the future, I don't know when and where, but we are going to add more US routes. And this way we are able to just add them under the umbrella. So Rocky Mountaineer and Canyon Spirit are sister companies. And then when we have some more other sisters, we'll add them as well, or brothers, either one. So nothing's been sold, same trains, same reservations, same sales reps. They've just kind of done a little reorganization. So I'm going to show you this.
The world is full of wondrous paths that shape the way you see it. Ones that connect you to not only yourself, but to extraordinary experiences beyond the expected. Armstrong Collective takes you on paths less traveled, bringing you closer to the world's most iconic landscapes through curated experiences. Inspired by our journeys and guided by our passion for travel and hospitality, we create memorable moments, connecting people with places and the stories that shape them. And for over 35 years, we've provided world-class service, immersing our guests in some of North America's most diverse and expansive landscapes. From the Canadian Rockies with Rocky Mountaineer to the Red Canyons of the American Southwest on board Canyon Spirit. Each adventure invites you to broaden your horizons, providing unparalleled access to some of the most spectacular natural wonders and a deeper connection to the unfathomable greatness of the world. Armstrong Collective, a world of wonder awaits.
Okay, so here we go. So I celebrated my 1-year anniversary out last week. So I've been with Rocky Mountaineer 1 year. So yay me. The first time I saw our trains, I did use the word beautiful because they are, and I never thought I would use that word when talking about a train. Now, our trains are all self-contained. We have an engine, we have a caboose. We're not hooked up to anybody else. Our gold level, which is our 2-decker train cars, and our silver leaf, which is our 1-level train car, are hooked together. Depending on the itinerary that we're doing, they add or subtract cars as needed. We focus on our 3 pillars, which is our glass dome coaches, our regionally inspired dining, and our all daylight train travel. So the biggest misconception with consumers is they think they sleep on our trains, which that is not the case. We get off and we stay in hotels. So we're only traveling during daylight hours, that way that they don't miss anything. This is a picture of our Vancouver train station, about 20 minutes from Canada Place Pier, just to give you a kind of a reference. And we do have a tradition where the bagpipes will play during the arrival of the guests, and then he will lead everyone out to the trains. Our hosts are the diamond of our company. They're your servers, your historians, and your comedians. And the way that we have narrowed down helping you sell Rocky Mountaineer is we have 4 steps. The first one would be choose your rail route. Now in Canada, we have 3 different routes that can be done 100 different ways as far as combining them and customizing. We start at 6 days and go to 14 days. The first route that we have is First Passage to the West, which is Vancouver, Kamloops, and Banff. You'll notice the solid diamond in Vancouver and Banff. That's a starting and stopping point. You can add additional overnights. Kamloops is a stopover. We get in, after 6 p.m. We leave early in the morning. There's no excursions. Basically, the clients get off the train, go to the hotel, eat dinner, and then get back on the train the next day. So in our brochure and online, we will have it outlined how many breakfasts, how many lunches, any highlights for that particular tour. On this particular route, you're going to see Pyramid Falls, which stands over 300 feet. Then you have Mount Thompson, that's over 10,000 feet at the summit. And then you've got amazing Banff, which is a part of the UNESCO Heritage Sites, World Heritage Sites. And it's surrounded by beautiful, amazing mountains. This is the main strip in downtown Banff. And then, of course, you've got the world famous Banff Springs Hotel. The next route is Journey Through the Clouds, Vancouver, overnight in Kamloops, and then Jasper. Here's a sample itinerary. Now, if you look at the map, there's a 2 in Vancouver. So there's 2 nights in Vancouver, 1 night in Kamloops, 2 nights in Jasper, 2 nights in Lake Louise, and 1 in Calgary. So this is an 8-day train ride. And also some more breathtaking pictures. And then Jasper. Now, Jasper had the 2004 fire at the end of July. They are back up and running and taking clients. And if you Google Jasper 2024 fire, the mayor has a video. There's numerous videos, but the mayor has one of them and kind of gives you a tour, shows you the areas that were affected. Most of the area that was affected was residential. Most of the tour operators, including ourselves, donated millions of dollars to get them up and running because, of course, we need those people in the residential area because they run everything, of course. So they are open and ready for business. Lake Louise, if your clients want to see this beautiful emerald green water, it is frozen until July 1st. I took a group of travel agents up the end of April and it was completely frozen. We were out walking around on it and it was snowing, but it was still beautiful in a completely different way. And then the last route is Rainforest to Gold Rush, which is Vancouver, Whistler, Quinaul, and Jasper. This is the tour I would want to go to because it has the 2 nights in Vancouver, 2 nights in Jasper, 2 nights Lake Louise, and 2 nights in Banff, which I don't think it gets any better than that. But once again, this is one of the options. And then Whistler, home of the 2010 Winter Olympics, great summer town, amazing winter town for skiing. They've got the gondola rides, they have the skywalk. And then Quinaul, which is literally a stopover, and it's literally a one-road town, but great restaurants for the clients to eat at. And then again, that itinerary would go to Jasper. So circle journeys, well, that's what it is. It's putting them all together. So that's a whole nother option as well. So we're going to go and switch to Canyon Spirit, Rocky Mountaineer's sister company. Little quick video here.
Imagine a wondrous journey where something new awaits around every bend. Burnt orange vistas carved with colossal canyons, bighorn sheep below even bigger skies, spectacular red rock spires sculpted by time itself, and regionally inspired cuisine with handcrafted cocktails. Introducing Canyon Spirit, an elevated rail adventure through the American Southwest and a gateway to America's most iconic national parks, the Mighty Five and beyond. From Armstrong Collective, the travel visionaries behind Rocky Mountaineer, enjoy over 35 years of hospitality expertise, the storied landscapes of the American Southwest, as well as exceptional comfort and service, are just around the bend with Canyon Spirit.
Okay. So we also call this route Rockies to the Red Rocks, which is Denver, Glenwood Springs, Moab, and Salt Lake City. So it's definitely welcome to the American Southwest. So we have for 2025, we have a 2-day journey, which is Denver to Moab or Moab to Denver. Now in 2026, we're really excited. We're extending the rail from Moab up to Salt Lake City. So passengers can either start in Salt Lake City and end in Denver or go Denver to Salt Lake City. So we're really excited about that. So some of the highlights is the Moffett Tunnel, Burns Canyon, Glenwood Canyon, Mount Garfield, Ruby Canyon, and Price Canyon. So there's a lot of canyons. I'm going to speak about this since we're looking at a picture of the Moffett Tunnel. Now, in the US, we are not able to have Gold Leaf, which are the double-decker train cars, because they do not fit in the Moffett Tunnel. So in the US, we only have Silverleaf, which is the one-level train cars. And I'll go over the differences of the train cars here in a moment, but I just wanted to give you a visual of why we cannot do the double deckers in the US. So once again, our main stopping points are Denver, Glenwood Springs, Moab, and Salt Lake City. So Glenwood Springs is a quaint little town known for their hot springs. Also, Doc Holliday is known to have frequented a bar here, which that bar is still standing and open, and Doc Holliday is buried in Glenwood Springs. The train goes right through the middle of town, and we do stay right in downtown. Now, Moab is a very adventurous, outdoor adventurous type of city. You've got hiking, biking, four-wheeling, river rafting, all sorts of things. Also, it's a very art driven culture in art culture in downtown. It's also got a lot of great restaurants, a lot of foodies end up going here as well. And then we have the off-train excursions. Our most popular is called Discover the Mighty Five. And basically, it's in it, you travel in an 18-passenger Sprinter van, and you can either start in Vegas, end in Moab, or start in Moab and end in Las Vegas, and you go to the 5 mighty national parks. This is really, really popular. And then they get on the train, depending on which direction. Moab is a dark sky community. It is rated as a zero light pollution, certified zero light pollution, which basically gives you these beautiful nighttime skies. And once again, activities, four-wheeling, all the hiking in the national and the canyon lands, and then the arches, and more of the canyons. And then next is choose your rail service level. This is where we're going to talk about the trains. So the gold leaf is our, what I like to call double decker train cars. So the passengers sit up above. The dining room is there in the middle below. The kitchen is located on the left-hand side, and all the meals for that particular car are made from scratch on board. So that kitchen is just for the 68 passengers that are sitting on this train. And then to the far right, you've got the vestibule, which can hold 12 people. Clients can go down there as often as they like and stay as long as they like. For me, this is the highlight of Gold Leaf service. Going out there and just viewing all the mountains and getting the fresh air is really zen. It's really a high point, I think. Here's a picture of the seating area. As you can see, lots and lots of headroom, lots of windows. At a touch of a button, the host can lower down and change the windows to keep the glare out. Taking pictures through the glass, they turn out great. There's not a lot of reflection on that. And you can see the seats here. The seats recline, but when they do recline, they do not impede on the passengers behind them. They kind of sink into themselves. These seats also can swivel. So if you've got two couples traveling together, they can turn around and face each other. When they get tired of each other, they can turn back around. So I took this picture. This is the control panel for your seat. So there is a leg lift that you can put up, leg rest. Also, there's a lumbar support that's heated, and then there's a butt warmer, which is a little slice of heaven. All the coaches are air conditioned. And this is when I like to let everybody know that we have no Wi-Fi on board. And the reason why is that we can't guarantee the connection because we're going through the mountains. Also, we do not have children rates. We do allow children 2 and above. We do stress that the parents are well aware of the long days, the no Wi-Fi. I've seen 10, 11, 12-year-olds on there. They did great, but their parents were well prepared to have them be occupied during the long times that they would be on the train. If you have a grandma and grandpa that want to take the whole family and there's a child under 2, we have made exceptions. So definitely don't turn them away. Reach out to myself and we can see if we can get an exception. Here's him taking a great picture out the window. And snacks are served all day. You're never going to get hungry. Alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages are provided all day. You've got snacks, you've got breakfast, you have lunch. Dinner is on their own when they get to the hotel. For some reason, if we are delayed, we will serve the passengers dinner on the train. So we do have that ability. Here's the dining room. You see the white linen tablecloths, the 5-star meals that they're making. This is a great picture because it's got the best eggs Benedict in the world. Every time I go, I get it and it's amazing and great scenery along the way. And then here's a picture of the outdoor viewing platform. Now we're going to talk about accessibility on board. If you note where the yellow is, you can see that those stairs are a little shorter than normal. That's for ease for guests to get on the trains. We also have a wheelchair lift that will get wheelchairs on board the train. Now, if your clients are wheelchair bound, they're not able to get out of their wheelchair, we suggest that they go on Silverleaf, which is the single level, because we can remove some seats and actually clip their wheelchair into place. Now, if they are not wheelchair bound, we do have an elevator to get them from the ground level where the bathrooms and the restaurant is up to the sitting area. And we have a narrow wheelchair to get them to their seat. Here's the money shot. We have 2 ADA bathrooms on board and they're gigantic. And now we're going to talk about Silverleaf. Silverleaf can hold 56 passengers. The off to the left is the kitchen where the meals are prepared on board. And then as far as a viewing platform, where the trains connect, there is space for 4 people to have access to the outdoors. It's not big platform like with the Gold Leaf, but it is still, you know, they do have the ability to go out and get some fresh air. The difference with the Silverleaf is there's no dining room, so the passengers actually eat at their seat. So this is my friend August. He's one of the hosts on board. He's 6'4". Okay. So that is how much headroom there is and how open an area they are on the board. And here's one of our hosts serving breakfast to the passengers at their seat. They put the tray down, put a little white tablecloth, and serve them all their meals at their seat. And then here's the viewing platform. So 2 people on each side. And then in the US, we have Silverleaf Plus, which is basically a lounge car that for people, it's a first class lounge car. For an additional $500 per person, passengers can have access to this. There's a designated bar, there's tables, chairs, couches, there's games back there if people want to play games. It's just a more space, more elbow room for people. Maybe they're not sitting next to each other, they can talk, meet new people. So this is only in the US, just a little bit more elbow room. Now, as regarding our hotels in Canada, you have your choice of silver and gold. If you book on the silver, you get silver hotels. If you book on the Gold Leaf train, you get Gold Leaf hotels. But then with Gold Leaf, there's 3 different tiers. The premier room would be like saying the Banff Springs Hotel and the Rimrock. So those are just some ideas of different. The Rimrock actually is a superior room, and I think the Rimrock's an absolutely stunning hotel. So, but anyway, so there's 3 levels of gold, and you can have the reservation agent helping you price out 2 different, premier versus standard or whatnot. Second, let's see, choose your season, not too terribly hard. So it's the Canadian Rockies. We go from April to October. Of course, spring and fall are the shoulder seasons, so they're going to be a little bit less expensive than going in July. I think the shoulder seasons would be nicer because you're not the places you get to, like Banff, Lake Louise, aren't going to be as crowded as they are in July and August. And as you know, with us being in Seattle, we have our Indian summers. So September, October are some of our nicest weather. So I think fall would be a great time to go. But once again, if you do spring, you need to make sure your clients know that Lake Louise is going to be frozen if they decide to go there. Now, in the Southwest, we go April to November. Now, opposite, the summer gets into the hundreds. So we don't operate as many departures in the summer. Spring and fall are more desirable. I went down in the first week of October and it was fabulous weather, bright blue skies, didn't break a sweat, was able to walk around Canyonlands. So it was fabulous. And then last but not least is choose your package. Now, I don't expect you to remember all this. All I want you to remember is the breadth of product that we have, the options that we have, the fact that asking questions to your clients of what they want to do and see is the way to narrow it down from that perspective. So we do have rail only, meaning your clients can book rail only. If they want to just get up to Jasper, they can get on the train in Vancouver. We include the overnight in Kamloops. then they get off the train in Jasper and they go do their own thing, and that's it. So that is a possibility. When we talk about the classic packages, you'll see where Vancouver and the ending point, either Banff or Jasper or Denver, they have a two. So there's 2 nights in Vancouver, 2 nights in Jasper, 2 nights in Banff. So we add additional nights. Then we start adding additional excursions. Then, yes, then we add more excursions. So here we go. I think it's just think about building a cake. The bottom is the rail of the cake, and then you can add as much or as little as you want. Discovering packages is adding additional overnights. Then you've got the Grand Adventure, which is more overnights, it's more excursions. And then you have the circle journeys, you start hooking them all together. So once again, 6 nights to 14 nights and everything in between. We do have, I'm just going to talk really quick about some things that we partner with and do some of the excursions off the train. So we partner with Brewster Sightseeing, which has been around forever. When they're on the motor coach, they're still seeing some beautiful country. All of our packages include a trip up the gondola in Banff to the visitor center, which this is a picture of the visitors center, and they call where the fire pit is the top of the world. From the visitor center, you'll see this wood boardwalk that goes to another viewing point. But yeah, this is the top of the world. So I've been in Banff a few times, and this is my absolute favorite place to go because it's just spectacular. Another excursion that we do is located halfway between Jasper and Lake Louise, and it's the Glacier Skywalk, which is a little scary, but looks very impressive. And then we also have the Ice Explorer, which actually is a bus, as you can see, a certain type of bus that actually goes on the glaciers. Here's another picture, and then wait for it. This is the money shot. I mean, who doesn't want to go on that? Is that cool? That's on my bucket list. Okay. Identify your Rocky Mountain clients. Okay, your Rocky Mountain clients are average age of 66. 74% of them are couples. 69 of them, 3% of them are retired. They're your cruise clients, your upper scale cruises, your river cruises, your well-traveled passengers, and 7% will take an Alaska cruise, and then they'll add Rocky Mountaineer either before or after the cruise, because Canada Place Pier and the train station are maybe 20 minutes apart. So when they're up in this area, some of them do take advantage and take Rocky Mountaineer as well as an Alaska cruise. So we do have groups. When you have questions about groups, I want you to just call me up and we can go over it, but really briefly. 20 plus guests are considered a group. We have large group and small group. We have 2 different types of groups. Our tour conductors are one for 20 for 2026. For 2027, it's going to go down to 1 to 15, which I know that you're a little bit more familiar with. There's no deposit required until 150 days prior to departure, and then final payment is due 60 days prior to departure. We've got early booking discounts for groups, and then we have as well as for Canyon Spirit. And then our small groups, small group promotions. Small group is considered 6 to 18 or 8 to 16 passengers. And once again, just call me when you have a question about groups. Where to find groups, niche groups, clubs, affiliations, alumni, travel clubs. A lot of the 50 plus and over communities will have travel clubs. Great place to look for clients. And then promotions. Now these promotions are for everybody. So we have an all aboard 2026 for our Canadian Rockies. and it's $750 off per couple and $500 for that gold leaf, and then $500 off per couple for silver leaf. This has been extended to July 16th already. We always have a military discount. We always have Travel Again, which is an alumni promotion, both for Canadian Rockies and Canyon Spirit. Travel agent rate, I want to go over these really quick. So for 2025, we have a travel agent rate for the US route of $419 per person. You are able to take a non-travel agent with you. This will include 2 days on the train and your overnight in Glenwood Springs. You would be required to do your pre and post, and then, of course, your air. But all you need to do is call into our reservations, give them your IATA number, and find a date that works for you and availability for us, and that's it. For 2026, you'll have your option of 2 days for $419, or you can do the 3 days for $749. Once again, you and a guest. Now, before you take advantage of it, we do ask that you take our tracks training, which is on our travel agent portal. It's not like taking the Princess Commodore class. It literally is going to take maybe 25 minutes, not 2 years. Back in another lifetime, I had to do the Commodores. That was crazy. Anyway, so this is all open to everyone. Now, sometimes I do FAMs. I'm not doing any more FAMs until 2026. If you're interested in doing a Canadian Rockies FAM with me, if you haven't already, email me and say, I'm interested in doing the Canadian Rockies. Please put me on your interest list. So when I get space, I will go out to the people that have reached out to me first, so that so kind of a first dibs kind of thing. So just send me an email. All you have to do is say, "Fam, Canadian Rockies, please put me on your list." And I'll give you my email in a few more slides here. So our agent portal is brand new as of last September. Before, I heard it wasn't that great. Now it's really good. So please give it another try if you had used it in the past and it wasn't too great. Everything you can think of, it's very easy to navigate. It shows you how to book online. It's got all of the marketing and sales resources. This is where your tracks training would be, under learning and training. How to book a package, sales generator sheet, which I'll show you here in a couple more slides. It's got the rail schedule, terms and conditions, videos, social media posts that you can use to post to your Facebook, your Instagram. This is our sales sheet generator. If you look at the top left-hand corner, you'll see where it says package code. Depending if, let's say, your clients are going between two different itineraries, you need to get that code and you can plug it in. It'll pull up a map, a day-to-day itinerary, and all the departure dates for that. And you can customize it with your logo and send both of those to your clients for them to look over. Also, Canyon Springs has its own agent portal. It's thecanyonspirit.com, not just Canyon Spirit. Obviously, that URL was already taken, so it's the Canyon Spirit. So it's the same reservations people for both Rocky Mountaineer and Canyon Spirit, just so that you know. Before I go on and talk about Mighty Trains, our reservation staff has been on our trains numerous times. They know a lot about the Rockies and the US route. The hold time is pretty much non-existent. It's not like you're calling a major cruise line, maybe 2 or 3 minute hold. And just to have another, even if on your first booking or other bookings, it's always nice to have another set of eyes to double check it, or maybe give you suggestions and whatnot. So I really urge you to use them. or if you book it online, call up, have them look at it and say, am I missing anything? Do you have any suggestions? Because you can book excursions ahead of time. So if your client has a free day in Banff, we do have excursions on the travel agent website that you can book ahead of time. So your client, it's all done, it's set, it's reserved. They don't have to worry about getting there, doing it on their own, and then you get commission on it. So it's always good to have another set of eyes on your bookings. The Mighty Train. So the Smithsonian Channel has a documentary called The Mighty Train. They also have a documentary called The Mighty Cruise Ship. So they go on to different trains companies, different cruise line companies, and they go behind the scenes. I mean, it's crazy how in depth they go. I watched the one on Rocky Mountaineer, and I realized that they wash the cars every night. I'm like, that's why they look so beautiful all the time. Just little, they take you into an in-depth tour of the kitchen, that kind of thing. You can Google it, Mighty Trains Rocky Mountaineer, and it'll pop up season 2. So that's something to get the train enthusiasts excited before, during, after. Just a thought. And then here's a video. I want you to listen to this and tell me what you think they're trying to say.
Okay, describe to me the experience of the Rocky Mountaineer.
Gosh. It's
I just love that video. I could watch it all the time. So they're speechless, obviously. So anyway, so here's my contact information. So you can take a picture of it or whatever. You can call me anytime if you've got some clients coming in and they want to talk about Rocky Mountaineer and you want a little refresher, call me. I might be driving, who knows where I'm at, but if I can help you out and answer a couple quick questions, I will. You can, if I'm not available, you can always call our reservations department as well. And then thank you for your time this evening, hanging out with me. And then are there questions?
So we do have a few. The first one is, can you move between the train cars or are you confined to just one car?
You are self-contained into one car because we don't want looky-loos walking through other trains. So yeah, no, you cannot go through other trains, other cars.
All right. Does Rocky Mountaineer own the track or do you share with like freighters and things like that?
We do not own the track. Freight trains have first priority, and we do have to pull over and let them go by. And that is the same for Canada and the US.
Okay. Let's see. Are there any excursions in the towns where you overnight for 2 nights?
There are, and those can be located on the travel agent portal. Um, it'll say excursions or it'll say excursions. I believe that's what it says. So like in Banff, it'll give you lots of different options. In Jasper, and Lake Louise, it'll give you the option to go to the ice field. So yeah, there's tons, and even in Vancouver, it'll give you like options to do city tours for your clients. Going to the suspension bridge is another one. So yeah, every place that's an overnight, that's not a stopover. So remember, like Kamloops, that is, they get off the train, they go to the hotel, they eat, they go to bed, they get back on the train. But in like Vancouver and Banff and Lake Louise and Jasper and Calgary, there's options for excursions for you to book ahead of time on their extra days. You know, you need to make sure that you look what excursions are already included, obviously, and then there's a lot of additional options.
All right. So the rest of everything were just comments, people just loving the presentation, loving the waffles,
Oh, perfect.
saying that they love seeing um, the one employee August doing what he loves. And
So August is huge. So I have to tell you, he did the US route for a long time. Then he jumped over and was one of my coworkers. He was a sales rep. And it wasn't his dream. And so he went back on the train. That was he loved telling stories. He loved the history. And so he went back on the train. So the hosts are really, really, really special. I mean, I've gone on numerous trips, and every host I have has been amazing and has just made the trip. So that's another really great, like I said, diamond of our company.
very nice. All right. Well, that looks like that's it for questions.
Perfect. And please remember, if you want to do a fam with me, send me an email. Say you can say Canadian Rockies, put me on your list. If you want to do the US, because sometimes we do the US routes as FAMs. So that's different from the 419 price. That one is not escorted, but if you do it with a BDM, yeah, then it's a little bit longer. I think it's a 6 day and it includes your hotels and all that stuff. So anyway, send me an email if you're interested and I'll put you on my waiting list.
Perfect.
All
Well, thank
right.
you.
Thank
And,
you so much. It was great seeing all your familiar faces.
and thank you everyone for joining. Visit our website, astaseattle.org/events, and you can see what we have coming up for virtual. And our next live event is in August, which will be a tropical showcase down in South Seattle. So thank you again. Thanks everybody for your support. Thank you, Krista. And we will see
Thank
everybody soon.
you. All right. Thank you. Bye.